guys, it's Lindsay. Today I am going to be starting mainly my tomatoes and a couple of other things. I've got a large stack here that I'll go through with you in just a minute. But first, in order to get started, you need some seed starting mix. You need a bowl to mix the seed starting mix. You also need a tray with some cells and a humidity dome, and you need a spray bottle. So let's get started. Okay, so some of the varieties that I'm going to be growing this year: Brad's Atomic Grape Tomato, that's a cherry tomato, the Purple Bumblebee Tomato, the Chadwick Cherry Tomato. I grew this last year. It produced so much, it's crazy. If you only have one cherry tomato to grow this one. I'm also growing a Paul Robeson, True Black Brandywine. This is probably my favorite full-size tomato. Mortgage Lifter, I've never actually grown this before, but I hear good things. And then Amish Paste Tomato. Oh, and then also a Bush Steak Hybrid. This one is a determinate. So the difference between all of the other ones that I'm growing and this one here is this has a determined size, so it's great for containers, where everything else is an indeterminate tomato, so that means that it can grow as tall as its growing season. So it just keeps growing and growing and growing, whereas this one, it will grow to 20 to 24 inches, so it's going to be a pretty compact size. And then I'm also starting my okra, my eggplant. I'm going to give ground cherries a go this year. And then I'm starting my sage. I have successfully started sage outside once, and then last year it didn't take. So I'm going to start it indoors, and I'm also going to try doing it outdoors as well, but might as well get a jump start starting it indoors. I bought more seeds and I bought more snapdragons, so I got to start these as well. And then I'm doing the Sparky Mix French Marigold, and I'm doing the Brocade Mix French Marigold. Both of these are going to be kind of short. The Brocade is about 8 to 12 inches, and then the French Marigold is about 10 to 12 inches, so they'll be pretty compact. And I'm also going to be growing the So in the summer. It's a container variety, so it'll be pretty compact. It says good for a 12-inch pot, and it's a perennial, so it's going to come back, so it's perfect for a container. I don't have to worry about accidentally pulling it up in the garden. So let's get started starting the seeds. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some soil. I'm not doing 72, so I'm not doing a full flat of that 10 by 20 tray, so I don't need a huge amount, but I still need a decent amount. So, and then I'm just going to add in some water, get it moist but not dripping wet, and then push it into the cell trays. Just the most important thing is you want to pre-moisten the soil, so that way you don't have water floating up the seeds, separating the soil. You want it to be nice and hydrated before you start your seeds. Okay, I think that looks good. So now I'm going to move my tray in this space, move this up. And one thing that I forgot to mention to you guys is you also need labels. I pre-label mine. I find it a lot easier, especially when I'm growing a bunch of different things. I don't have to worry about stopping and starting and writing out the labels. Also, your hands get pretty dirty dealing with the seed starting mix, so it's just one less messy job that you have to do. So first things up is I'm going to fill up these cells. Okay, so the cells are all packed. I also pushed them down so that way I made sure that all of the space was filled up with soil. Especially since I'm starting tomatoes, I want to make sure that their roots are in contact with soil and that they establish a really nice root ball. So then that way when I pot them up in a couple weeks time into a size like this, you know, it's not falling all apart. And the reason why I start my tomatoes in here rather than the larger ones like I've done most of my seedlings is because the tomatoes, the further down you bury the stem, more roots come off of the stem. So it actually makes a healthier plant. So I prefer to start all my tomatoes like that. I always have success and I always end up having really, really strong producers. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. All right, so let's get started. So I'm actually going to be doing my tomatoes last. I want to start everything else so then that way anything that I decide to make less of, I have more room to do tomatoes. I give some away to friends and family, or I just end up planting more tomatoes. So the first one up is okra. Okay, so I have planted everything. I ended up having extra 6 cells, so I am going to do more marigolds. Now all that's left is me to spray these in. And the soil is mostly wet, so I'm really not even needing to spray the other ones, but I did anyway. So after you've sprayed them, you want to put the humidity dome on top and then put them under a bright, sunny spot, either a grow light or in a window. I never have any luck putting mine in a window, so they always go under lights. So yeah, that's it. Just keep them moist, make sure that they don't dry out because the seeds do need moisture to germinate. The snapdragons definitely need light to germinate. And you should start to see some seedlings pop up within about 7 days. Let me know what you guys are growing this spring down in the comments below. Thanks!